Oh no. Oh no. Turn off. Nope, not that one. There we go. But put Alice back up on the screen there. Welcome back, everybody. If you are... I will split it, Shui. If you are just joining us here, so we just finished up between Regen Anomaly and Die for Vision. We find ourselves in the middle of Wholesome Halfwits and Wipe Them Again. They've already played one map, and we are going into game number 2. So we are jumping right into this. They waited a few minutes for me to get set up here. So Wipe Them Again won. I'm going to show you the maps here while they get started on the draft. Won the first game. This is a Division A match. And Wholesome Halfwits have picked both of these. The bans we see in... not Infernal Shrines. We see Battlefield of Eternity being banned out, along with Dragonshire by Wipe Them Again. Sky Temple and Alterac Pass were banned out by Wholesome Halfwits. And our first game, and I'm so annoyed that I missed this, was Braxis Holdout. And that was won by Wipe Them Again. So going into game number 2 here, bans already well in process. Whew. Late night. Tons of casting. Started tonight at 7:30. It is 11:40. And we're going to be going for a little bit. At least for another, half hour, 45 minutes. Probably 45 minutes with an interview. Possibly a much later night, depending on how this goes. And right out of the gate here, seeing similar bans, although different tier here with Div A. And tonight, the first Chen ban coming out from Wholesome Halfwits. So, yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this, start taking some notes. Infernal Shrines. We've got some serious tank bannage coming out from Wipe Them Again with the Anubarak and Diablo. And first picking the Garrosh. And let's see. So I'm going to be doing some things on the fly here, making sure, for example, that all of the people on my list are, in fact, people that are in the game. It looks like they are. Hey, it's G Money. I recognize that name. Oh, Freckle Pants. How did I... This is a fit. I love these names, guys. Freckle Pants? That's got to be one of my favorite names in all of NGS. And Neutrons is... I mean, that's just a cool name. So we see the Jaina and Tyrande coming out from Freckle Pants and Neutrons. And then the Abathur with Mephisto. Interesting setup we've got here on Infernal Shrine. So Abathur getting them the clear not objective, but the clear for the waves, giving them that XP value in those off lanes while they're pushing in on the shrines themselves. But what's their blow-up potential going to be? Who's going to combo with this Mephisto? Do we see a Greymane? Greymane got buffed a little bit. It's been a while since we've seen the Abathur Greymane, but I could see that happening. I'm going to write these bands down. Chen, Anna. Chat, anybody think Greymane's coming? I think Greymane's coming. Am I alone in this? Tell me I'm not alone. Abathur. Who's playing out there? Kuroha. Own Dizzer. Hound of Havoc. Love Dart. Sovereign. G Money Drums coming up with the Imperious. And Crooked Smile on Tychus. So Tychus looking to shred the Garrosh. I expect maybe we'll see that level 1% damage coming out from Imperious. Tyrande with the armor reduction can really, provide some death potential from onto that Garrosh, rather, not from that Garrosh. Lucio and what is it? What is it? What? What's going on here? I'm so confused. All right, let's see. So, Garrosh throws, and I guess the Abathur Zarya goes to town. Like Mephisto, I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, so I see where they're potentially going with combos, but do they have enough damage to pull it off? I don't know. And Dr. Sagelli, I guess, on the ETC here. So I'm thinking what they're looking at is a Durance, probably like a taunt, Durance, Graviton Surge combo. And then Mephisto just cleans everybody up. I'm assuming that's what they're going for. Why does that say variant? That was Tychus. Am I nuts? I don't know how to feel about this. They've got the potential for Shrine Clear with Zarya and Abathur-ish. But Jaina, and really Tychus even. I don't know how to feel about these drafts, guys. I don't know. You gotta help me out here. I mean, I see the Zarya helps to keep the Garrosh alive, but I feel like they're just a super defensive team. I don't know what they get out of it, unless they get just every combo to land. But this is the team that just won the last game. Unfortunately, we didn't see that game, so we don't know how well they played. So we'll take a look here. Starting it off for the blue team, we've got the Wholesome Halfwits. We've got Freckle Pants on the Tyrande, Neutrons on Jaina, Crooked Smile on Tychus, G Money Drums on Imperius, and Dr. Sagelli on ETC. Coming at you for Wipe Them Again, Hound of Havoc on the Zarya, Sovereign on Mephisto, Love Dart on the Nexomania Garrosh, Own Dizzer on Lucio, and on the Abathur, Kuroha. So, sprays coming down. I like these sprays. Got the pleb spray. I think that was from Tychus. First time he's played the hero, obviously, because that's the only time you ever have that spray, right? So, double checking. We do have that percentage on Imperius, so no big surprise there. Interesting. That's not the Prog Rockets Guitar Hero. So, a little bit of an update to Guitar Hero because of the fact that they increased the cooldown on his E guitar solo. They gave a little bit more value to the Guitar Hero, so we'll see how that works out. So Imperius up in the top lane, trying to counter that pressure coming out from Abathur, and getting this value damage onto Garrosh. Garrosh taking off, booking it for the mid lane, and setting up maybe to get this ETC. Does get the flip, does get the Groundbreaker stun. But again, I mean, I don't know. I guess if you get a full energy Zarya, then, I mean, she does just crazy amounts of damage with that, but I don't know. I'm going to pretend that I'm not confused, and we'll see how this goes. Because maybe this Sovereign Mephisto is just going to be absolute bonkers and do crazy amounts of damage when they get the combos. I do have to say, though, the Durance Grab Bomb Silence combo, just absolutely sick. But that's level 20. Both of those are level 20. I don't know. Are we playing for level 20? Is that what they do in Div A? I don't think so. They've got more of a plan. We just haven't seen it yet. Garrosh throwing ETC out of the way. There's one Khazra that's dead. And it's a 4v3 here because Jaina's down soak in the lane. It's also 4v3 in the levels. They're not getting the value out of that Abathur soak just yet. They're a little bit behind. They're hoping to get that value probably from the Shrine that's coming up in the top lane. 6.5 out of 10 banner coming out from Crooked Smile, as now Wipe Them Again is going to start working on their camp. let's take a look at these towns. What do we see? More Q build out of Mephisto. Got the radius increase for the face melt. More Valorous brand talents. We do see the stacking percent for the minigun. Not stacking percent, but the stacking duration on the minigun. Lunar Flare. The increased auto attack speed. So I guess they really are just going full in on the Zario auto attacks. And what did she take here? Shield ally, so gives them the movement speed. Okay, so that helps the Garrosh for the throws. All right, fair enough, I can see it. So it looks like Wholesome Halfwits does get started on the Shrine. They're about 25% of the way through that. The throw onto Jaina, but ETC in the backline knocks them away. They can't get any value out of that. The stun coming out of Imperius also followed up by the ETC power slide, and it's going to be First Blood going out onto Lucio. Abathur in the bot lane trying to keep the pressure back from the siege camp, and again, you know, they've got a 4v3 up here in the top lane. They're 22-1 on the minions. I'm sorry, 30-3 as they gathered them up and let Tychus grenade them. There's that movement speed on Garrosh, but there's nowhere for him to go. There's nothing for him to really do. And Wholesome Halfwits pulling back here a little bit. They're refreshing, hitting their wells. They know they've got a fair amount of time to get working on this, and they're level 7s ahead of Wipe Them Again. So they've got the advantage here, but they can't wait forever on this. There's that power slide after the movement speed onto Garrosh, but the Lunar Flare does hit onto Lucio, pulls him back. The Blizzard going out onto Zarya, helping to keep that energy bar high, but the Imperius comes in with that Celestial Charge right onto Zarya, but unable to get the kill there because everybody was busy on the Shrine. So there you go. First Punisher of the game is going to be a Frozen Punisher. Not the one you were hoping to get or hoping to have pop up if you are Wipe Them Again, as this Frozen Punisher is going to allow them to get significant clear onto this keep. And we do see the power slide in on Garrosh. The shield goes out, it gets melted away. The throw back from Garrosh gets the Bloodthirst to keep him alive, because otherwise I think he probably was going to be a dead orc there. But this is going to allow them to get that first fort of the game. Now, Abathur right now not providing the amount of XP needed to really provide that early game potential, get them to those level 10s before Wholesome Halfwits. But if you're, you know, Kuroha, you're looking to get that XP, you're looking to get that level 10. Sorry, my mind just broke. I got thinking about it, like, are they gonna clone the Zarya? Do they just go double down on the shields and the auto attacks? Like, I don't know. Maybe they go for the monstrosity. There's the throw onto Imperius, getting some tower shots, but the Lunar Flare keeps anybody from following up behind. Zarya by herself in the front line trying to get some energy as after throwing those shields on the entire team and the minion waves as well. And excuse me, you can see Abathur up there in the top lane again doing his best to keep these lanes from pressuring their structures too much here. I don't know. They're almost level 10 for Wholesome Halfwits, so there's some cheekiness about this play. Garrosh is maybe looking to throw ETC in before he gets level 10, but they don't have any way to really lock him down after that. And there's the power slide in. It is level 10, but he hasn't taken an ultimate yet. There's Ring of Frost hitting Zarya, and it looks like Mephisto gets thrown out of the fray. Love Dart's gonna go down. And one kill over to Wholesome Halfwits with their level 10s. We saw the Ring of Frost. We do see that Shadow Stock. The Imperious charge onto to Mephisto. The power slide and face melt coming out from ETC, trying to finish the job here. But ultimately, I'm sorry, what the hell just happened? What? Hold up. I gotta go watch what you guys are seeing, because I can't believe what just happened. Looking at that back, I'm watching this on the 30-second delay here, so ETC slides in, Mephisto's in the entire group, goes into the group, Q's through, and then just W's away. Gets so much damage from the... I don't know how that happened. That was just so much damage. What on earth? And apparently Lucio got killed. So sorry that I missed that kill. I was trying to watch that replay back on a pentakill from the Mephisto. Mr. Tudor in chat pogging it out, because holy smokes. Blink and you miss it as Mephisto with no health manages to kill the entire team. We do see that it is the clone. We see Durance. We see that Graviton Surge. We see the taunt. So that combo that I mentioned earlier, fully online for the roots, for the, pulling them all together. And Mephisto, if they're in a Graviton Surge, makes it real easy to hit those W's and Q's. So Odin being popped, looking to see what happens with a clone here, as that is available. The Graviton Surge into the backline. Kuroha coming in on the Mephisto, getting that double lightning ring out. Ring of Frost hitting on the clone. The shield coming out from Lucio. Durance gets caught onto ETC, but the knockback keeping things a little bit okay for them. Taunt going out onto the ETC as well. Kuroha on the clone trying to get in there. The ETC Mosh does hit too, as Zarya and Lucio will get denied. And that's a little bit more how I expected these fights to go just in general, but both teams were looking absolutely just fantastic there, getting damage everywhere, getting their CCs to hit, and ultimately it just went over in favor of Wholesome Halfwits, as they're going to sit on 39 as they clean up the top lane here. They got a little bit of damage going on here, and potentially start working on some of these camps, I imagine. Easy penta. Yeah, indeed, Mr. Tudor. And ETC's all by himself here, so got to be a little bit careful about soaking that lane. They get the Arcane Punisher going into the mid lane. Abathur getting some value in the bot lane here, getting that wall down. So, starting to realize that Abathur value as the Unstoppable popped from that shield from Zarya. Hound of Havoc making sure to leap over the wall and get the damage in as quickly as possible. Odin getting pulled online here, and Mephisto getting caught by the Imperius. The charge coming up from the Punisher, but then Imperius and ETC get caught in the Graviton Surge, so it pauses their advance, and G Money Drums on Imperius gets thrown over thanks to that Garrosh Blizzard coming down, trying to get that wall down to help him out, but just not able to do it. They will get that fort and back away as they traded 1 kill for 1 kill, but got that fort. And don't forget about this Shaman camp they got, getting the full tower, getting probably this wall, and now they're free to clean up this mess that Abathur's created in the bot lane as well. Let's go ahead and get rid of these talents for a little bit here, as we've got Wipe Them Again coming in, and Wholesome Halfwits taking this aggressive camp. They're on the same talent tiers. All of the ults are up, so a little bit cheeky, but they're able to make that work. Garrosh coming in from behind, maybe looking to see if he can catch somebody on a rotation. It looks like it's going to be Imperius, but he does not want to throw him in. And there's not a whole lot that's scarier than a fast-moving Garrosh. Gotta get that lockdown, and they don't have a lot of it right now, so they're really banking on that ult combo to make that whole thing work and utilize the burst potential out of that Mephisto for getting that pentakill that they got earlier. Siege Clamp gets Siege camp gets cleared up, but the Jaina gets thrown back. Trying to... There goes the Durance and the Graviton Surge getting to the taunt coming out. The ETC Mosh in the backline slows down that damage. The only person out of it is Garrosh, but he doesn't have a way to stop it. Unstoppable going out, giving the shield, giving Zarya a chance to get out, and it's going to be Mephisto going down. And the ETC gets thrown over the wall. He's trying to see if he can maybe Q his way out. He does make it out, but not quite where he needs to go. And Lucio trying to keep this going, keep the boop damage onto... I'm sorry, that's not Lucio, that's the clone. Trying to get Jaina to come back. And they might actually... They do get the catch onto Tyrande thanks to the speed boost coming from that shield from Zarya. And now Jaina a little bit in a dangerous spot there. Tychus was very close. So, and once again, we're seeing this ice barrier. This is interesting. Every game that I've seen tonight, they've taken ice barrier instead of the icy veins. I don't recall there being anything changed between those two talents that provides so much value to the icy or to the ice barrier. But I guess that they're just looking for that survivability. And with all of that, wipe them again, losing half of their, a little bit more than half of their keep here with that constant pressure with the earlier Punisher. And here we go. They're trying to get set up. They've got their ults. They're fairly short cooldowns. The clone is coming online soon. Here comes Odin, so they're looking for a fight now. They don't have Mosh, but they've got absolutely everything else. So Wholesome Halfwits looking to make something happen. They're throwing the Garrosh into the back, which tosses the Odin over. Taunt going out, hitting ETC, but the Graviton Surge only hits Tychus. Durance coming out as well onto Tychus, so keeping him locked down. Ice block pop by Jaina. It's a 3-man Mosh, but it gets interrupted by Garrosh with the Warbringer. But the big 3-man ring, the clone goes away. Power slide coming out from ETC, trying to knock them back, but he knocks, unfortunately, right into Tychus. But Tychus will make it out. Sovereign on Mephisto getting very low. The Punisher out for the blue team, somehow picked up in all of that, and nobody dies. So this Mortar Punisher will come down here, and it should get a relatively easy clear for them to finish that up, as Wholesome Halfwits looks like they're going to go ahead and start working on camps. They were, of course, having to send back, I think, 2 people. Yeah, Freckle and Neutrons went back as they were very low on health and mana on the team as a whole. Mortar Punisher going to get most of the damage onto this fort, but not quite getting it all the way down. And Abathur, of course, getting the push value in the top lane. So what they couldn't get early in the game, they are definitely getting in the latter stages of the game, as Abathur's really been able to get some, push in each of these lanes. But ultimately, blue, Wholesome Halfwits will get this fort down. Now, Garrosh very deep in here in the enemy team's space by himself. But here they come. He's always got the potential for an Abathur hat to protect him. And now that Clone is available, it's essentially a 5v4 down here in the bot lane with Imperius clearing up top. And it looks like ETC gonna power slide away. Garrosh, I think, was looking to maybe cut him off and maybe try to get that kill, but good timing on that power slide to get out. Looks like Garrosh now running up, not to go for Imperius. Well, they do see that Garrosh is there. That Imperius, well, okay, so Tychus gets thrown away. Durance of Hate goes out, just barely tags the Tychus. There's the Graviton Surge, pops the Odin to get that unstoppable, and big burst damage coming out here as we've got the clone coming in as well from Mephisto. The Angelic Armaments go straight into that clone, but it's just a clone. So once again, many R buttons used, no deaths, but Imperius had to go away. So this is now a pretty much even fight, although Jaina comes down here to get this camp. So overall, even though these fights have in many cases resulted in 0 kills or 1 kill, the game is very heavily in favor of Wholesome Halfwits. looking to make this a game 3 match. We just missed that, I think, Diablo spray there. But here we go. Here comes 5v3 coming in. We've got the Mephisto off to the side here, but the Lunar Flare goes out onto the Zarya. Shield gets melted away, and she will go down thanks to Tychus. But there goes the Durance of Hate. There's the taunt follow-up as well. Mephisto trying to get this damage all over the place. Pops back in on the team, and so much damage going out onto Nutrens and Frecklepants, and they will both go down with the help of that Abathur hat. They do get the Shaman Camp. Wholesome Halfwits does get that Shaman Camp, but lose 2 to the one that they killed. Team Nut. Wonder whose team that is. I don't remember that name. ETC coming down. Probably caught just a glimpse of that Abathur as Abathur go ahead takes his time to get out of dodge. And now with Zarya being the only dead on Wipe Them Again, looks like they're going to start making their way up here to get started on this Punisher up top. Level 20 is online for both teams. Now, this is where it gets absolutely bonkers for Wipe Them Again. Now that they're level 20, they can throw 2 people into that Graviton Surge. They've got the potential for an epic silence out of Graviton Surge, the Durance of Hate, roots for a few seconds, then 3 seconds of silence. They didn't take that, so forget whatever I just said. But even still, 2 into the Graviton Surge with all of this additional damage is just going to go crazy on them. And we do see the extra Hive Mind, so blue team with their mid camp is going to go ahead and get this this keep down, and they're going to start pressuring in the bot lane, electing to say, yeah, no, we don't need to take these fights. You're going to go straight into a fort. We have all of the map pressure right now. And for level 20s, we do see that upgraded Odin. We've got the Storm Shield coming out from ETC, upgraded Ring of Frost as well. So looking for that CC chain and the big damage coming out from the Tychus and burst damage out of Jaina. Oh, thanks, Merlins. Or Emmy. Thanks for stopping by, Emmy. Good to see you again. So 5-man root coming out of that Punisher. And they will clear it with only losing that one tower. They get this this full wave here. So at this point, you know, if you're Wipe Them Again, you're really looking for that huge combo. And did Zarya take her level 20? She did. She didn't take the silence. Why didn't they take the silence? I don't know. Whatever. Clearly I have no idea what I'm talking about. As the tower now going down in the bot lane, getting yet again more pressure in this bot lane as well. So how long you been here, Emmy? Just out of curiosity. Been running pretty much all night. So Garrosh sharking around, giving them that vision, and Wholesome Halfwits sees this. So yeah, I was just gonna say, like, they know he's there. What are they gonna do with that information? Clone in the bot lane, continuing to put out that, I don't want to say beetle pressure, but it's essentially what it is. And they do split up the team here with this push. But they'll just clear the lane, keep that pressure going. What do we got coming up? Next is a Mortar Punisher. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I started at 7:30 tonight, cast 2 matches, had a 2-0, had a 2-1, some absolutely fantastic play tonight. And we joined this one at the midpoint. They actually had 1 game played before we got here, so glad you could join us. So all 5 of Wholesome Halfwits here. Wipe Them Again doesn't know that, but here comes the big damage. There goes the Graviton Surge with the Durance, hits everybody up in that front line there. 3 on both ults, but they have no Garrosh to get that taunt or even to get that double throw. So a 1-for-nothing kill for Wholesome Halfwits, and Mephisto trying to get as much poke damage as he can onto that team. And it looks to me like this should be a relatively easy keep, potentially. They do still have the potential for a mosh. And if they get a good mosh here, that's going to be game. Clone is available. What do we have at level 20 for Lucio? So we see that increased healing for the heroes in the radius. So they don't get the keep. They elect instead to start working on the Punisher. Again, some pressure down in the bot lane. Could very well actually take out that fort, but that fort isn't ultimately that important at this point. If Wipe Them Again is able to get this Punisher, though, that fort becomes absolutely instrumental, because that means that they could potentially open up a win condition and win this game. Pokes coming out. Here comes the clone out of Mephisto. And we are seeing a whole bunch of damage going in on that Jaina. The throw onto Freckle Pants gets the taunt. Only ult required, and Tyrande goes down. So 1-0 so far, as the clone now expires. And now they're going to have the double hat coming up from Abathur here soon. Garrosh getting the throw onto ETC, but no completion there to be had. What? That's what I get for paying attention down below. Abathur gets caught up by the Imperius and Jaina up here as they're looking around. And they did it to me again. ETC goes down in the bot lane, but here's a problem. You now have catapults on your core. It's only 2, but you got a 3rd coming. And nobody's going to be there. Abathur's not going to be able to push that out. So they elect to get this camp going to stop the pressure in the mid lane. They are going to take a little bit of core damage. Ultimately, that camp will prevent any more from showing up anytime soon. So now, with ETC down, this is a tough place to be in if you're Wholesome Halfwits. There's the leap onto the Imperius, and Sovereign trying to get in there, get that damage in. Does get a couple of them down 20-30% or so. Looking to chain those ultimates. So Durance of Hate is coming right back up. We've got a Graviton Surge available and a taunt. So expect that to happen when, I was going to say when the Punisher leaps, but unfortunately they were just a little bit too late on getting the keep down for that. Garrosh getting caught up to Tychus, gets the throw. There's the Graviton Surge. Hits 2. Tychus and Tyrande going to get obliterated. Double throw onto G-Money and Jaina, and Dr. Sagelli trying to get this big mosh pit, and it looks fantastic. But unfortunately, that is going to be game. And because of game number 1 that Wipe Them Again had in hand, that is going to be the match for Wipe Them Again. I feel bad that I didn't get to watch game number 1. I'm sure it was absolutely fantastic. That was quite a back and forth game between these two teams. There was a lot of value, and again, that whole game looked like it was Wholesome Halfwits until the end, until they got that bottom lane and opened up that fort, and then got the right fight, managed to kill the ETC so that they could push in, and holy cow. So we only got the 1 game, but let me figure out who the captain of Wholesome Halfwits is and see if we can get just a quick chat. Not Wholesome Halfwits, it was Wipe Them Again. Oh, geez, gonna make that mistake probably twice more. Let's see, the captain is it's Sovereign, so let's see if we can get Sovereign in here. Want to do a quick interview, if I can spell. And I guess I'll just hop into lobby, see if they want to join me. Lobby 2 in NGS. Alright, so that's updated. Let's get that up here. So we'll be joined in just a moment by Sovereign. There, Sovereign is.
What's up?
Thanks for joining me here. So you guys had a bit of a different setup tonight with, playing your first game there before I could make it in to cast the rest of it for you. So I didn't get to see about the first one, so I'm going to ask you a little bit about that. But congratulations on your 2-0 victory here over Wholesome Halfwits. How you feeling today?
Oh, thank you. After that 2-0, I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling real confident in our team going into later season.
I can imagine. So let's start with, is your team a new team, a returning team? I don't recognize the name, but that doesn't mean anything.
We're a new team to the NGS. I don't think any of us have played in any prior season.
Excellent. So how has your experience been so far?
It's been pretty good. The community is pretty helpful about getting everything set up, from games all the way to just getting your team together.
For sure. Well, we're glad that you joined us. We did have a bit of an increase in teams this season, obviously with you guys being one of those, so thank you for doing so. I gotta tell you though, I'm sad. And I'm sad because I cast 2.5 matches tonight. I really wanted to see a Brax's holdout game. And you guys
It was a really interesting game.
So walk me through that. Tell me how that game went from the perspective of Sovereign.
I mean, like, for our team, our comp was fairly similar in that Braxis game, and we had a Chen up top, and they had a very strong 4-man in the bot lane with us. So there was a really long first objective. It was 9-10 minutes before the first objective came through. The teams looked pretty even, but then in the back half of that game, things started to turn around, like a big wave with the Zerg and then the boss, and you know how things go on that map.
Indeed. So I don't have a whole lot of questions about game number 1 because I wasn't really paying that much attention to it. But
right.
When you go back and watch this replay, you're going to come to a moment, approximately around level 10, where my brain shut down because I'm talking about things happening, and then you just made it happen. You have no health. You had like 15-20% of your health. And then you just wipe everybody. Yeah.
So, I don't even know how to... I was really trying to get that Mephisto level 1 quest done even earlier. What happened was, the magic moment was that quest finished around the time that fight started. So I went in knowing this is going to cost me my mana bar, but I might be able to turn this around.
And you did. And I had to wait and watch the quote unquote the replay come up so that I could see it as to what actually happened, because at the beginning of the thing, again, the replay, I was looking at your comp going, how do they win? Like, how do they kill anything? And
we felt the same way.
Yeah, okay, good. So I'm not just crazy. I'm like looking at this going, Div A doing stuff really strange tonight, but okay. But, and I don't know that I showed this on stats, but 118,000 damage. That is absolutely just bonkers. That's your damage, by the way. 118,000. Right. That's just absolutely crazy, and it's because of those combos. And I admit I was a little bit surprised that I didn't see like the upgraded Graviton Surge from Zarya. I thought that at the beginning, my thought was you're looking at that massive amount of silence that you can get from Zarya and Mephisto, and you guys played that from behind most of the game and then won. So tell me a little bit, you guys are a newer team to NGS. Tell me a little bit about how that draft conversation started. Let's start with that. How did you come up with this draft? Like, what you said, how do we kill anything? Well, how did you get here?
It was pretty unorganized for, I guess, a Div A draft. I would imagine most teams are a little more communicative in their draft. We started knowing what we wanted to pick. Hound of Havoc is a Zarya main. I play a lot of Mephisto. So we knew we wanted those, but then we also knew that Infernal Shrines was a big map, and we have, like a secret Abathur player in Kuroha. So he wanted to play that. So the question was, how do you make those 3 picks work on that map when Mephisto is a team fight hero? And, obviously in the early game, Abathur can't help you at all with that too much. So we knew from the draft that we wanted to play for the late game, and that we were hoping the Abathur could get some great push in early game, and he did, keeping us open in the XP. And I don't know, we were just praying for that Hail Mary at the end.
And boy, did you get it when you got that ETC kill, right? And opened up the bottom fort with the Abathur pressure that kept going through that whole thing. And that fort was at half when that Punisher started, and I said right then, hey, this is their way to win right now. They get one kill, they can win this game. And you did.
Right.
So, and then so throughout the game, like, I gotta ask, like, when you get that pentakill that just blows up like a living bomb explosion type of kill where everybody just stands in the same thing, how do the comms go? Like, do those get do you just start talking trash to your teammates, like, or do you just move on with the next moment? Like, how does that go?
As a captain, I'm usually pretty quiet. I usually let my assistant captain Lovedar do most of the shot calling. What I noticed was that they were funneling into that that little alleyway and that little divot in that bot camp, and that's one of my favorite places as Mephisto. Like, oh, please, like I was saying in comms, please lead them through this place, because the quest is done. I get a 4-man queue, and it just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling, and then that's the snowball for all the damage.
Makes sense, and it worked. And there were a lot of fights that you guys had where both sides threw a lot of resources and ultimately walked away. No deaths.
We were surprised at a lot of those where it really looked like a lot of people were going to go down on both sides, and it just did not come through. So that's all the questions about the games that I've got. So I'm just gonna, throw out a question for you here about your division. So Div A has 13 teams. There's a lot of competition there. Are there any teams that you're familiar with, or that you've kind of looked at that you are excited to play, or that you're I don't want to say concerned about playing, or that you expect to be an extreme challenge for you? We honestly haven't checked out any of the other teams in the division. We haven't familiarized ourselves with the other players, so I can't answer that, really.
That's fair. Hey, you know what? One step at a time. You guys got your first match out of the way with a good 2-0, puts you right up there at the top of the standings with Team Happy Cloud, it looks like, for the beginning of this first week. I think that's all the questions I've got for you, so I'm going to go ahead and leave the floor to you for any shout-outs you'd like to make to your team, your fans, or people out in Twitch land.
All right, I'm Sovereign Hots on Twitch, if anyone wants to check that out. Other than that, great games.
Good deal. Well, thanks again for waiting the couple of minutes while I had to finish up the other match. This was a lot of fun to watch, and don't be surprised if you see a couple of clips from this game showing up in the Nexus Edge at the beginning of the week. It'll at least make it into the highlights channel, because I mean, that Mephisto play, if that doesn't make it to the top 1 or 2 highlights, I'll be amazed.
All right, sounds good. I mean, thank you for casting it.
Absolutely, and have a great night. Don't forget to report your win on the website, and if you have any challenges, you can certainly reach out to division moderators. I happen to be one of those. And yeah, thanks for joining NGS, and I hope the rest of your experience is an enjoyable one.
Yep, well, thank you. Take care.
Alrighty. That is going to conclude us for the night. I'm tired. That's 5 hours pretty much straight of casting. We saw a 2-0 victory between Almost Legends. Was it 2-0? Yeah, 2-0 victory with Almost Legends and Murky's Hit Squad. We saw a 2-1 victory with Regen Anomaly and Dia for Vision. And then we just saw the second half of the 2-0 victory for Wipe Them Out over Wholesome Halfwits. And the victories... Gosh, I don't even remember. I don't remember who won that first game. It was so long ago. Who did win that game? I wonder if I can see that. Anyways, the win going over to Dia for Vision. We see the win for... Wipe Them Again. And let me see if I can pull up just for Almost Legends Ruby. So Murky's Hit Squad, I don't know, you know what, whatever, it's in the VODs. I'm going to go to bed. You all have a great night. Thanks for joining us here. Don't forget to follow, or if you're in the mood to do so, you can also hit the subscribe button, especially if you got one of those Twitch Prime subscribes, and get yourself a handy-dandy little alpha emote, which is the most adorable emote out there. Emoji? Emote? Whatever they are. But thanks again for joining us, everybody. Have a wonderful night, and we'll catch you on the next stream. Let's see.